What's up, guys? This is the next video in the series comparing the TN12 by Thrunite to the Fenix PD35. Very comparable lights, and in this video I want to give you some realistic, real-world situations on when you're going to use your flashlights and comparing the two. What I want to focus mainly on in this video, although I'll show you all the all the beam shots and stuff, all the modes, I want to focus a little bit more on their low mode. Okay, this is what's most important to me. As far as output, they're very similar. Visually, it's hard if you're outside in the woods like I am, very hard to tell the difference between a maximum output of 1050 lumens from the TN12 compared to 850 by the Fenix PD35. They're very comparable. Although the Thrunite is brighter, it's not that much noticeable in that particular situation. However, what I'm more interested in is the low light modes. Okay, their lowest on the TN12 is 0.3 lumens, whereas the PD35 is 10 lumens. Okay, and right now I'm in my vehicle, and if you could tell, there's the sky. It's a low light situation. It's going to be dark. It'll be pitch black in probably another 20 minutes or so. Sun already set, or it's on its tail end of setting, and this is a very low light situation. All right, right now you're looking inside the vehicle. You can't see much except for the ambient light shining off the perimeter of the shifter. So what I want to do is compare these lights, just looking at stuff inside the car. This is a very practical use. A lot of people use vehicles, obviously, to and from work. A lot of people drive at night if you're traveling, or just go in the store, home from work, whatever the situation is. Realistically, a couple things can happen when you're in a vehicle. You drop change. Pretty much everyone I know has dropped change in between their seats, right? You could be taking the keys out of your ignition and drop it down by your feet. Something you're handling in your car, you can drop down by your feet. You could need to go inside the center console. You might have to go into your glove box and so forth. Most vehicles do have lights inside compartments, such as, here's the glove box. There's a built-in light when the car is on, but right now the car is off, so it's not helpful. Same thing with the center, center hump in this vehicle. There is a light, but when the car is off and the key is out of the ignition, which it is right now, it does not turn on. That's where the flashlights come into play. But anyway, we're going to start off here with the TN12. Okay, this is the Firefly mode. This is 0.3 lumens with that ridiculous 1600 plus hour runtime. All right, 0.3 lumens it's barely on, but in a very dark situation, it gives you plenty of light to look for things. For example, you can see here all the different shifting options. If you look in the center compartment, you see the Mirage mints I got when I was at SHOT Show. Another flashlight, because I have them everywhere. And my watch. Alright, so even 0.3 lumens doesn't sound like anything at all, but it's lighting up that entire area, that entire little compartment of my vehicle. Okay, I come up here, I can easily see the wheel. Alright, all my options there on the wheel. More practically down by the floor. Please excuse any kind of dirtiness, of course. Now, you guys aren't seeing it as good as I am, but I'm able to light up all the corners of the floor in any pretty much small spot in the floor, even with 0.3 lumens. See, there's the frame for the chair. So if I were to drop something, there is enough light here to look in there. If you look in here, I happen to have, let me let that focus for a second. I happen to have a cigar ashtray for my car. Hold on a second. Let me turn this camera a little bit. You start here. To focus for a second because it is lower light, so the camera doesn't want to focus. There we go. Alright, so moving over. That shiny thing right there is a cigar ashtray, and I use this for change. Alright, it's portable, it's easy, plus if I ever do smoke in the car, which I don't, could have a cigar in here and not worry about burning anything. But I just keep $1 or $2 for tolls in case I go to Connecticut or New York or New Jersey or something. If I have to pay some tolls, I have a couple dollars in there, singles, and I have a bunch of change. Alright, very practical reason to use this light. If Christina's in the car with me, I'll often have her grab some change for whatever. And so she can use a flashlight in here. So 0.3 lumens is plenty of light to be able to look in there and see what you need. Alright, so here's just some practical uses again. Let me open the glove box, show you what's in there. 0.3 lumens. Let the camera focus a little bit there. You can see to the right I have that quick clot. I have a little pad of paper in there, some pepper spray, some glasses. You see the red there is another pepper spray gun, which I'm going to review soon. And of course my pertinent information in case I get pulled over. So that's pretty much everything I would practically need to use this light for in the car. 0.3 lumens. Alright, now let's shut this off for a second. I want to switch over to the Fenix. Now their lowest light mode for this light is 10 lumens. Now you can see there's a big difference. Alright, this is a lot more light. Now 10 lumens is nothing. When you're talking about flashlights, I mean, even cheap flashlights are 50, 60 lumens, right? And by the way, anything over 60 lumens is really considered tactical because it could temporarily blind you. All right, that gives you a reference. 60 lumens or more is considered tactical. Crazy, huh? But anyway, yeah, 10 lumens looks like, you know, the world of a difference between 0.3. I mean, it's a big difference. But I want to show you this. Even 10 lumens, which is low light mode, you can see a lot more in the car. But look how those mints get drowned out. And you can see all the dust and dirt here at night. That's nice. Alright, with only 10 lumens, there's a lot of reflection off of that. When I come across here, look at the reflection I'm getting off the chrome on the shift knob. Alright, coming down. Again, that all stainless steel ashtray. Getting a lot of reflection off of that. As far as the floor, it's more useful in the floor situation because it lights up a broader area. But some of the closer proximity things, even 10 lumens, which doesn't seem like anything at all, it starts to drown out a little bit. It actually makes it a little bit harder to see. Now, it's not that big of a deal, but there is a difference. If I pump this light up, just to give you an example, let's kick it up to high, you can see how much that light reflects off. And it makes it counterproductive now. It actually makes it so that it's so bright, it's reflecting so much that it's hard to see what you're really looking for. All right, at least in person. I know it's not as intense, you know, looking through the camera, but to the human eye, a lot of that light is reflecting back off at me, and it's actually making it hard to see, almost as bad as if it was pitch black. All right, guys. Right now, I am laying in my bed in the bedroom, and I have both lights on the end table here. What I want to simulate real quick right now for you again is the difference between 10 lumens that the Fenix offers for the lowest output and that 0.3 lumens on the Thrunite. The idea behind this is to demonstrate the difference between having a very covert lighting situation as opposed to maybe not so covert. Alright, I staged my gun on the dresser. It's not how I actually keep my gun, it's out in the open like that, just because I don't want to show you my exact setup of, you know, home defense stuff for obvious reasons. But I want to kind of simulate what it'd be like to hear a bump in the night, to grab the flashlight and use you know, both lights in the same situation to get to my firearm. Alright, so the idea behind here is if you wanted to covertly get to your firearm or whatever kind of home defense situation you have, the opposite side of this is that you hear a bump in the night, you want as much light as possible. This is just personal preference. Some people may want to throw 1,000 lumens out the door to completely distract whoever may be inside or whatever, whereas the other, you know, thought process for this situation would be, I want to be very, you know, unnoticeable. If someone's in my house, I want to get to my firearm without them knowing that I'm up and about. If you start waving a flashlight, you're bringing attention to yourself. So just different ways of thought, you know, different perspectives. So first off, I have the Fenix PD35. All right. So bump in the night. Creep out of bed, grab the flashlight, turn it on. This is only 10 lumens, mind you. All right, looks pretty bright, but this is the lowest setting. All right, so I grab the gun and I'm in business, right? Now, 10 lumens. You think that'd be barely on. But in a real world situation where it's pitch black in here, this is projecting a lot of light. Okay? A lot of light. This will bring attention to this room. Especially if the door happened to be open, which it's not. But, yeah. So there you go. There's something to think about. I'm going to try this again with the 0.3 lumens. Alright, so I'm laying down. Bump. Okay, what was that? Got the flashlight. Turn it on. Now we're at 0.3 lumens. There you go. I'm at my gun. It's much more covert, excuse me. So it's the preference. I like the idea that I could have something that's low light. So just a little food for thought. Some people want to be covert, some people don't. Bump in the night. What the hell? Who's there? Alright, just some food for thought. If you wanted to be more covert about it in finding your firearm or getting ready to defend yourself in a possible situation, then the Thrunite would definitely have the advantage. But both lights get very bright, so if that wasn't an issue for you, either light can do just the same as far as throwing some light out there at whatever bump in the night there is. Alright guys, for the next scenario here, I'm sitting in the living room. And I have everything off in the house so that to simulate a power outage. Assuming I have my flashlight by my side or very close by, I'm going to turn the light on. In both scenarios, I'm going to be in the lowest mode of the flashlight, and then I'll also show you both flashlights in their highest mode. All right, so you can see the difference. So basically, I'm going to take a little walk to the electrical panel, all right, to see what's going on with the power. So in the living room, first I have the TN12, all right, and this is going to be in the low firefly mode, so 0.3 lumens. So I turn it on. Let me get up. Let this focus for a second. There we go. All right, kind of follow the wall a little bit. And there's much more ambient light coming from this than you guys can see. But here's my electrical panel. You can see the light that it's giving me. It's lighting up the entire electrical panel, but it's not drowning me out either with reflection. Alright, I happen to have a semi-gloss paint, just for reference, all over this whole thing to match the wall. Alright, which does reflect light quite a bit. So when I open the panel, you can see here, once the camera focuses, I have plenty of light to look at all the switches, see if anything tripped. I also have plenty of light to read the reference, so I know what switch is what. Alright, again, something as low as 0.3 lumens. If I pull this back a little bit, you guys can see that it lights up the entire electrical board here, or electrical panel rather, efficiently. So I can do exactly what I have to do. I'm not getting any kind of light reflecting back. Alright, so I'm back in my chair, same situation. Got the Fenix. Now that we're talking 10 lumens. Alright, even 10 lumens, lighting up quite a bit here. Walking through. Go to my electrical panel, and the same spot you can see lighting up the entire area. It's much brighter, obviously. Getting a little bit of light refracting back to me from there, but it's not really drowning it out too badly. And looking in here, you can see it is reflecting light back. I can still see what I'm doing, but believe it or not, just 10 lumens is a little much for what I need this for. I can fix this by pulling the flashlight back so it's more of an even beam and a little bit less reflecting back at me. So completely effective, but the 0.3 in this case might be preferred. Just depends on how you see it. Of course, more people would probably like more light, but there is that kind of that cutoff zone where too much light is counterproductive and it's not good. In this case, the 10 lumens for this particular situation isn't bad at all. If anything, I could see everything just fine. Right, so back at the couch again, we're going to start with the Thrunite. This is a Thrunite on high, which is the full 1050 lumens. You can see bathroom mirror reflecting that. Very distracting. So around the corner here. There's so much light coming off this box, I'm actually squinting. It's hard to see. This is where lights become counterproductive. Now the camera is not picking up the same as my eyes. Human eyes are picking up a lot more light. The camera actually adjusted so it's easier for you guys to see, but for me, I'm squinting. I can't see anything. I'm almost blinded by it. Alright, same thing when I open it. The camera's having a hard time focusing right now because it is too much light. So if I bring this back a little bit, it might help. And it's not really helping much. It's reflecting a lot of the light back. Back in the living room once again. I'm going to try this again now with the Fenix. Alright, it's a little bit less light at 850 lumens, but still, it's almost identical for the purpose of this scenario. You're not going to tell that much difference here, but this is a situation where it's too much light. Again, same deal, it's reflecting back much more than I'm seeing in the viewfinder here. But in looking at the control panel here, I have to once again bring the center beam off to the side in order to use the ambient light or the spill to see what I'm doing. Otherwise it's too much light, it's refracting back at me, and it's counterproductive. It's making it hard to see. So here's another situation. I'm in my living room slash dining room, and the power went out. Okay, that's a scenario here. I want to be able to use one of my flashlights for ambient light. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this on high, starting with the Fenix PD35. Turn this on high and aim it at the ceiling. This is giving me enough light, plenty of light, to function and do whatever I need to do throughout the house. This is only 850 lumens, and I can go through this entire area with no problem as if the lights are on. All right, it gives me plenty of light to use. However, it's going to be really hard to use this in this scenario because it does not tail stand. I have to actually, you know, stick this between two books or kind of play around with it to be able to have it sit in this mode in order to use it. All right, so same scenario, only I have the Thrunite here. All right, the Thrunite is pumping out a little bit more light, but as far as this situation, it's identical. It's going to light up the room for you. The difference is I can actually sit this on the table and I don't have to worry about playing with it. This does tail stand. In fact, I'll do it right now. And there you go. All right, so I'm hands-free here. My other hand's holding the camera. All right, that's the difference. This light is ready to go in action. I don't have to fiddle around with books or pillows or a blanket and try to get this thing to stand up. All right, both lights work fantastic for ambient light for the room. All right, as long as you can do this. It makes it the world of a difference if you can just place it on a flat surface as opposed to playing around with it, trying to get it to work. That is, again, why I lean towards the Thrunite in this case. All right, guys, I'm pointing at the wall here, and I have the light on inside. What I want to attempt to do here is run through the modes, show you both flashlights at the same time, but I want you kind of to look at the tints of these lights. It's going to be really hard to pick up in video, but in person I can see that the Thrunite has a more white LED. It's more of a true actual white color, whereas the Fenix PD35 has a bluish purple tint. This is something that you would never notice if you just had the one flashlight. Okay, you have to have multiple flashlights to be able to compare the different tints of lights. Not every LED is a straight white. Some are off-white, have yellowish color to them. Some have bluish, some purple. Just depends. Blue and purple are common tints to different LEDs. But you'll never know that unless you have something to compare it to. So on the left is going to be the Fenix. We turn that on. Okay, and this is in its lowest mode. And on the right, of course, is the Thrunite. And you can see, first of all, the difference between both modes. On the right, the TN12 is at 0.3 lumens, and on the left, the PD35 is 10 lumens. All right, I keep my finger on the buttons on both of them. All right, now I'm going to turn the Thrunite up 1, so you can see the difference, hopefully, in tints here. All right, again, in person, I don't know what the camera is showing right now because I can't see the viewfinder, but in person, the Thrunite has a more true white LED. All right, I'm going to put the Fenix up 1. So now these are the second levels up on both flashlights. To the right, TN20 is 20 lumens. To the left, PD35 is 45. I turn them up again. On the left is 170. On the right, 280. Bump it up again. On the left, 450. On the right, 800. And of course, they're max for both, 850 on the left and 1050 on the right. Hopefully you guys can see the difference there. All right, when I'm really close to the wall, both lights have a squarish type beam. All right, just from the reflector kind of getting in the way. As you pull them back, they smooth out. Neither flashlight has any kind of any issues with hot spots or anything like that. Both have really nice smooth reflectors and a really nice beam. All right, and of course, if I hold both the buttons down, you can see they both, work very nicely on the strobe feature. Okay, and both of them do change their wavelength. So sorry about that. For any epileptic people, I'll probably put a warning in there before that happens, just in case. All right, and then back to the low modes. To conclude this video, we're going to do some outside beam shots. I'm pointing at my shed at exactly 50 feet. All right, I'm going to do both lights at the same time so you guys can see the difference. The Fenix will be in the left hand and, the left side when you see both beams, and the Thrunite will be on the right. So I'll turn both flashlights on. All right, I'm actually going to face the ground first to show you this. Left, of course, the Fenix. That 10 lumens is coming up okay. On the right-hand side, you can barely see, even if I take that out of frame, that low 0.3 lumens. All right, so let's bring the camera up against the shed, and you're going to slowly ramp up through the different modes here so I can show you, you know, both lights. Alright, so once again, Fenix on the left, Fenix PD35, TN12 on the right. So this is low. Bump it up. We're at medium. If I take the Fenix out of the picture, you can see, I'm sorry, the second level. I'm not going to call them medium or anything like that. So the second level on the Thrunite, barely picking up on the shed. The Fenix picking up the shed just fine. Bump them up again. Alright. Still can't differentiate between the beams, so I'll take the Thrunite out of the picture here. Just the Fenix, that's what we're looking at. Just the Thrunite. You can really tell the difference in color now that I'm outside. You can see how more white that is as opposed to bluish. Alright, so Thrunite, Fenix, Thrunite, Fenix. Bump them both up again. Alright, Thrunite, Fenix, Thrunite, Fenix. This is where you can really kind of tell that coloration. The shed looks a little bit more on the pinkish or mauve type color with the Fenix on there, whereas with the Thrunite, it's more of a, you know, light brown or kind of off-white. Alright, bump them up again. Fenix, Thrunite. Let's look at the Fenix for a second here. You can see the shed just fine. You have ambient light. You can see the tree to the right. You can see the house. You can see a little bit of the woods. Focus on what this looks like. Alright, here's the Thrunite. Same thing. And by the way, when I'm doing this, the flashlights are in the same position in front of the camera. So with the Thrunite, same deal. You can see the tree, see the house. The throw is about the same right now. Okay? And we're back to low. Alright, well, thanks for watching, guys. Appreciate your time as always. Everyone's time is precious, and I appreciate spending a little bit on my channel. Any comments, questions, always welcome down below. But until the next video, hope you have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care.